night, or good afternoon. Whenever you're watching this, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. So today, I'm with Justice, or maybe Justice is with me, and we are working on the Roto-Mix VXT-865 Cyclone Vertical Express. If you guys are watching the previous clips, you know that it's already been featured slightly in Lucknow Feed Mixer Part 1, and now you guys know that we have sold the Lucknow Feed Mixer, so we're into rebuilding this one, and this one has some issues. So Justice, what's one of the issues?
Well, we knew when we bought it, but you guys didn't know, I don't think we've mentioned this on the previous video, that they have maybe a loader bucket fell inside the mixer while it was in use.
So, just so you guys kind of understand what we assume fell in it by the looks of it, and we'll show you here in a minute. Yeah, All-Star, new All-Star on the YouTube channel, third party. Yeah. Anyway, so, now that you guys know what we're talking about, just 1 second, and I will show you a clip or a picture of the bucket that we think might have fell in it. Alright, so this is kind of what we think may have fell in the feed cart. Now this is ours, this is not the individual that owned it before us, so this one's in perfect condition. But, you know, when you throw something like a bucket of a loader in to a feed cart, it's not necessarily a good thing. So, with that said, let's get inside and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, you're on.
Alright, so, as you can see, this has the nice curve appeal, which usually is nice on things such as this, machines. The curve, the hay goes better. But this is supposed to be straight. So when the loader bucket or something such as that has fallen in here or fell off the loader, it must have hit this and bent it in a downward degree.
So how far out would it have stuck originally, like before it got bent?
Probably about here.
Yeah, so give or take, it's bent like a 90-degree angle, guys, or at least
give or take a few feet, about here.
Yeah. So, and then also, if you guys can see this one, yeah, it's bent to smithereens, and someone's put it back into place. So, with that said, we're gonna have to bend it back a little bit, and it's already missing knives. Like you can see, there's holes there, and there's bent pieces. There's holes here that's missing knives. Yeah, it needs some repair. So with that said, guys, we're going to get started on that. Also, Justice was talking about it and wanted to make the observation. Look how tall this thing is compared to the rafters of the building. Yeah, it's almost as tall as a tractor cab. This thing is pretty tall. So with that said, guys, I guess we'll get started on this. Alright, so we got to fix the scale, or not fix the scales, but put them back on. So this is what the scales looks like, if you guys can see that. It's a Digistar scales. So it mounts up there. And then it runs down to a junction box, which is there, and a bunch of wires run all the way down to, actually this cart's set up so you can put a battery down in that box there. But we're going to rewire it and rewire it from the battery box back to the tractor because we've got tractor plug-ins, which is a lot better so then the tractor does not run, or the battery does not run low, it's always charged by the tractor.
Alright, so we've been grinding around. If you can see this, we took all the blades off and we ground around the holes so we could get the new bolts in better. And if you guys remember right, this was bent. So this piece came all the way out to about here, I think, and came out, and then it bent down in a 90-degree angle. Well, we had to cut it all off, back to factory. So we cut it all off, ground it. We actually bent this up because from here, if you guys can see that, from right where about where that grinder line is, it was all bent down too, and so we got it all ground back and bent back, heated with a torch, and did that. And then also same here, we heated with torches and ground all the holes so they'd be better to get the new bolts in. And actually right here was all mangled, and we actually took a porta power, if you guys can see that over there, which is hydraulic press that can be functioned by hand with a pump up jack. And we pressed it all from the bottom side as we heated it with a rosebud tip on a torch, which I'll show you guys here in a second. So this is a rosebud, this is a torch. You guys can see that with our air line, gas lines to it. And then this is the rosebud tip. There's different tips for different things. The rosebud is really helpful on heating stuff without actually cutting it in two. So that's just something kind of interesting. But we're getting started on it, guys. So on to the next process of elimination.
Well, we figured out that the scales do work, but the scales was originally wired down to over here to a battery and a battery bracket box. So we've taken an orange wire and we're going to connect to the wires there that ran to the battery and run them back up here, and we aren't finished yet. But run them back up to that box and then run them all the way into the tractor, which has an electrical plug-in, so then you don't have to worry about a battery not being charged enough or anything like that. So
Alright, so if you guys can see this, that's the new backplate laid in there against this would be the old backplate right there. So there, you can definitely see the new one's thicker. And also with this knife, we'll lay it down. You guys can see now, this is different. This is a different serrated edge. But if you guys can kind of see, there's the difference of the serrated edge. This is a lot more aggressive knife, which is definitely good for what we're doing because we're grinding a lot of hay. And these knives, if you guys can see, are really worn. They're about gone. So, with that said, guys, without further ado, let's get started.
Alright guys, so we got them all in, and you guys can see the finished product on both of the screws. So we got the back plates and the knives installed, or put them together with that bolt, so it runs through the knife and through the back plate, and then we put a lock washer on, and then to put the knives and the back plates on to the metal screw, we put lock nuts and lock washers with carriage head bolts. So I thought I'd just show you the finished product of them all on. So we are ready for the great day of chores and many more to come with these great new serrated knives.
Alright guys, so if you now have watched most of the video, then you'll know that we've got the knives in, we got the scales all hooked up to the tractor, we got the hydraulic lines plugged in, we got the drive shaft put on, we got the hydraulic lines all zip tied up and bungee corded up. We zip tie all our wires up because if we don't, then of course something will catch. We also took and got hydraulic lines for the cylinder down there, if you can see that, and we bungee or zip tied all the wires for that, which would be where the electrical for the scales is. And then this is actually a 2-speed gearbox right here, and it had a cylinder down in there, but we took the hydraulic hoses off of that because we never need to use 2-speed, and so we took them off of that and put into the cylinder, and then we're gonna, for the chute, and then we're gonna just cap those lines there. So with that, guys, said, we'll keep you updated.
Alright, so we got the knives in, the wiring done, the axle hub finished, so we are ready to grind feed, so this exciting step is getting ready to be a part of the cow's life.
Yep, so success has been had, guys. And with that said, don't forget to hit the like button down below, comment, subscribe, and with any questions, comments, or even recommendations, guys, it's the way we do it is not necessarily the right way to do it. It's just the way we do it to execute and get things done. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and stay tuned for more.